So Hare Krishna, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada only, we find ourselves in Sri Vrindavan Dham. After 8 months of preaching in different parts of the world, we've come here actually again on Prabhupada's invitation. One time in Mayapur, during the Mayapur festival, Prabhupada gave a class, and he said that all of his disciples should come to the holy dhams, meaning Vrindavan and Mayapur, every year as part of the festivities, iskcon's festivities. Afterwards, some of the GBC members, they questioned Prabhupada. They said, really, it's going to be very expensive, some of the preaching will stop. And Prabhupada said, no, it's so important to come to the dhams to become inspired, to become purified and to become inspired, so that we can go back and do our preaching work, which takes great effort. It's almost against the grain, trying to push a spiritual movement in the material world. And as we know from reading Nectar of Devotion, Sri Rupa Goswami says that there's 4 principal activities in Krishna consciousness that nourish our bhakti lata bij, our devotion. Beginning with chanting Hare Krishna, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating with Vaishnavas, and living in a holy place like Mathura Vrindavan. And if we can't live here, then at least we should try to come as often as possible. I mean, for many devotees, of course, they're working, have families, many responsibilities, but we should try to organize in such a way that we can come here, because this is a very, very special place, Vrindavan. According to our acharyas, this Vrindavan, Gokul Vrindavan, is not different than Goloka Vrindavan. Goloka Vrindavan is the topmost planet in the spiritual world, but this Vrindavan is actually non-different. And by coming here and performing devotional service, we can make, you could say, quantum leaps in spiritual life. One time Prabhupada said, any devotional activity performed here, whatever it may be, chanting or just walking on parikrama or taking prasadam or rendering some service to the Dham, the results of that activity are magnified. The benefits of that activity are manifest 1,000 times. So life is short, and we're meant to become pure devotees. It's not only that Prabhupada wanted us to spread the movement, but he also wanted us to become pure devotees and go back home, back to Godhead. So it's important to come here. So every year, myself and some of my assistants and helpers, we organize this parikrama where we go to specific holy places. We sit down, we have the katha, we talk about that particular place, which one of Krishna's pastimes took place there, or his devotees' pastimes took place there, and then we chant. We have wonderful kirtaneers like Hare Prabhu, who comes every year. Madhava Prabhu sometimes joins our kirtan parties like this, and we have kirtan for hours and hours because these things are very easy here in the Dham. Shravanam, kirtanam, Krishna Shmaranam, hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. It's very easy to perform here. So this is our parikrama. For 1 month, we just go out to the holy places, we hear, we chant, remember Krishna, discuss the pastimes, following in the footsteps of our acharyas. Prabhupada, in the beginning, when he brought the devotees to Vrindavan, he would take them out to visit various holy places. And his Guru Maharaj, our grandfather Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's famous for taking thousands and thousands and thousands of disciples every year on Vrindavan Parikrama and also in Mayapur. So following in their footsteps, on the advice of Shastra, we're here preparing. Actually right now we're just going out to visit a few of the holy places that we'll be going with our team. We're going to have about 300 or 400 devotees on our parikrama this year. And we're just kind of going out and feeling it, seeing, how to get to those holy places, where we can have our katha, where we can have prasadam like that. And this is the best way possible to observe this auspicious month of Kartik, which is just 1 week away. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for inviting us here to Sri Vrindavan Dham. We're also going to be visiting Mayapur this year with our parikrama party. A little bit of change, 2 weeks here and 2 weeks in Mayapur. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Jai Radhe,
Jai Jai Radhe,
Jai Shyam,
Jaya Shyam,
Jai Shri,
Jaya Shri,
Vrindavan Dham,
Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Jai
Tava katamritam apta jivanam kavibhiriditam kamasapaham Avakatamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kamasapam
Hare Krishna. We're continuing our Kartik parikrama here in Vrindavan Dham 2018. Local tradition has that there are 60 billion holy places in Vrindavan Dham. Through the years we've been trying to visit as many of them as we possibly can. And of course, by going there and speaking the glories of that particular place, what the Leela was that happened there, and having kirtan there with our close associates and disciples and well-wishers, naturally one develops an affection for those places which bring us back year after year after year for purification, for inspiration, etc. And this morning we find ourselves at one of my favorite places in Vrindavan Dham, a place perhaps not visited so often by iskcon devotees, but we hope by this video to make this place famous. It's Chandra Sarovara. It's just a stone's throw from Govardhan Hill. We hear in the Shastras that at one time Govardhan Hill was surrounded by, well, unlimited different lakes where the cowherd boys and Krishna, or Krishna and the cowherd girls, they would have their pastimes. One such lake is Chandra Sarovara. At the moment, we're sitting next to the samadhi, one dear of a great devotee, Surdas. He's famous for the wonderful poems that he wrote, devotional poems, particularly about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. He was a contemporary of the 6 Goswamis. It is said that he was born blind, and he left home at 6 years old and traveled to different holy places around India, but eventually settled where his heart was, here in Vrindavan Dham.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
He has many followers even today. It is said that when he left this world, just the moment before he left this world, one devotee asked him, Surdas, what are you thinking about now? So he composed, this is how poets are, he composed a song immediately in his mind. He began singing it. And just as he finished singing that song, which was on his mind about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, he gave up his body and left this world. So his Samadhi Mandir is here, so we come here to pray to such a great Vaishnava that we can have the same attachment that he had for Sri Vrindavan Dham, and that we also can attain eternal residence here. Chandra Sarovara, many pastimes take place here. This is where the gopis sang their famous shlokas or songs, the Gopa Gita, in a feeling of separation after Krishna left the rasa dance. That part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it was sung here, because a number of rasa leelas or rasa dances take place here. One in particular, in the springtime, Krishna announced to his gopi girlfriends, they were wandering in this area near Govardhan Hill, he announced a rasa leela, a rasa dance. So as soon as he announced it, all the demigods from the higher planets, they assembled just above this area in their flower airplanes, and to witness this, you could say, the quintessence of all of Krishna's pastimes, his Rasa Leela dance. And the dance began, and it was very beautiful how Krishna was dancing with the various gopis and so forth and so on. And that Rasa Leela lasted an entire night of Brahma. And at the end of that Rasa Leela, it was noted that the demigods were witnessing this pastime. They were still present. Actually, so much time had passed, yugas had passed, but they were still present there. And the acharyas comment that is because Krishna's mercy, although they were there for eons and eons of time, by his mercy, they still had their same bodies that they had when the Rasa Leela danced. He extended their lives. This is what Sri Rupa Goswami said. One demigod in particular, Chandra, the moon god, he was particularly fascinated by this pastime, so he was present as a full moon during this entire night of Brahma to shed light on this transcendental pastime. And he watching that Leela of Krishna, he experienced such ecstasy that tears flowed from his eyes like torrents of rain, and created a beautiful lake, which is here presently now, known as Sarovara, Chandra Sarovara, made from the tears of ecstasy from the moon god who witnessed this pastime. There's so many pastimes that took place here, we don't have time to recount them, but we would encourage devotees to come to this place. It's part of the Leelas of Govardhan Hill, which is second only in importance to Radhakund, according to Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita, the pastimes of Govardhan Hill. Come here to Chandra Sarovara. It's a lot like Vrindavan was 20 or 30 years ago. It's very peaceful. It's really nicely organized. The sadhus here are really special. It's very clean. You can take darshan of Suradas. You can bathe in the ecstasy of Chandra's tears, Chandra Sarovara, and just be in this very pleasant atmosphere of Sri Vrindavan Dham for purification, inspiration, and eventually, hopefully, for Krishna Prema. Shri Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Jai Sri Radha Sham.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.